Welcome back to episode 9 of the TJ Martino podcast, folks. We are back. I am your host, the owner of this show, TJ Martino, and I'm here with a special guest of mine, my roommate. Yes, lives right across the hall from me. Alex Canitano, Cleveland's owned, the man from the north. How are you doing?
What's going on, everybody? It's good to be in the studio. Thanks for having me, Tej.
No problem. Very easy to get this guest.
Yeah, you can say
he's
that.
been a good friend of mine through the thick and thin here in university life.
Yes, sir.
First of all, before we get started, I want to thank everybody that's been listening, everybody that's been showing me love, shouting me out, all of that, and all the good feedback that I've gotten off of last time's episode with my sister and her boyfriend Aaron. If you haven't seen that, check it out. It was a really fun episode to make, not too long, easy to digest, and it was really one that we had a lot of fun doing, and I hope a lot of people have been saying they enjoyed it, so awesome.
Yeah, I was a big fan of that one, actually.
Another announcement. This is to anybody that makes music, or like whether you're a singer, a rapper, a producer, or you play an instrument. Let's say you play guitar or piano, the drums, whatever. If you have like demos or music you're laying on, and you want an avenue to promote it, hit me up, because I will play it at the beginning of my episodes and give you a shout out. So if you want shout out, if you want to have your music out there for people to listen to, let me know, and just send it to me. You can do it for free. I'm not going to charge anybody anything. It's just, I want some variants in my intro music and outro music. So this is calling all producers and artists. So, just hit me up on social media, or if you see me out somewhere, shout me out. And and also, if you haven't already, rate me 5 stars on Apple Podcasts. Hit me with that 5-star. Drop a comment below if you got something to say, something to get off your chest, because we have that coming up. We're going to be getting some stuff off our chest today. So
it's definitely a 5-star show
so
for you
if you
guys
think
today.
it's a 5-star
Definitely a 5-star show today.
Give me a 5-star rating. Show me love.
Not 4.
No,
5.
not 4.
Not 4.
It's definitely going to be a 5-star.
Not 3,
podcast.
obviously not 3 or 2.
No, if you give me 2, you must really not like me.
Yeah, you must suck.
Also, drop the comments, subscribe on all your streaming platforms out there, whether it's Apple, Spotify, Stitcher, whatever. Anything else before you? How have you been?
I've been pretty good.
You've been good. You've been busy.
Yeah, with like school and social life and everything. Just your average college semester.
Yeah. It's been a busy semester, honestly.
It
has. Might have been the busiest semester, and it's crazy to think it's already almost over.
I know, dude. Like you look up and it's halfway through November already.
Right.
Like I feel like nothing happened.
Yeah, and it's like a snap of a finger, and it's like.
But then it was weird because like
already
September for me like seemed so long of a month, and then like October and November have just been flying.
Really? You said, September was
it
weird. It was
a
weird
dragged.
month. Yeah, it was an odd month, I think.
But we were probably just getting back in the swing of things, like being back on campus and school and everything.
But yeah. So been busy. Great. So what we're gonna do here is get into our first segment of the day. NFL mid-season thoughts. Now, look, this is not going to be a whole episode thing, but it's going to take up a nice chunk of it because I have not had any time on here to talk about the NFL.
I have a lot to say about the NFL.
Yeah, and Alex is a big NFL
Huge
connoisseur,
NFL guy.
as I am.
Obviously, I'm a huge sports guy in general, but the NFL for me, far and away, number one.
Yeah.
Far and away.
And why do you think that is? Why is the NFL your favorite?
I've never been like a huge fan of basketball in general. And then, like, the MLB also is, it's 162 games in the regular season. It's hard to be a fan all year long. Like, I'm a huge Cleveland Indians fan. Obviously, I'll support the team every day, but, like that long of a season, it's kind of hard. And so then football kind of plays in where like every game is like really important, like for the playoffs. For,
yeah,
like,
that's what I was gonna
yeah.
say. I think with like a lot of these sports, like hockey and baseball and basketball, where you have all of these games in a season, it takes away the stakes of a game.
It does
like,
a little bit.
And that's the thing I guess you could say about college, basketball and college football, like, is that like those games even have more value than like the NFL does. Because
You think?
Totally.
Like
I mean,
college
if you lose one game in college football, you're pretty much
that's
screwed.
true.
Like,
but then at the same time, like OSU will play like Northwestern and Rutgers and everything. Like there's some gimmies there on the schedule. That's not the same.
Totally.
In the pros,
yeah, because like in the NFL, you're getting way more competition. Yeah, that's for sure.
Oh yeah, more
because
parity.
It's like
way more parity.
Right, because it's like
if OSU's regular season was like Clemson and Alabama on there, like it would be like way different. Like you could lose like 3 games and still be okay.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. But yeah, the NFL is in full swing. What is this, week
11?
11, right?
I think so.
Week 11.
Wow.
So
over halfway.
Well, we're gonna talk about one thing that happened. Actually, well, you're gonna be hearing this on Sunday, but something that happened last night because it's being recorded on Friday. And your Cleveland Browns.
That's right.
Alex is a devoted Cleveland Browns fan. Has been for as long as I've known him, and definitely longer before that.
Definitely many years before that.
He's loved the Browns more than anything.
More than I love anything in the whole world. Like, sorry, Mom and Dad. Like, I'm just a Browns guy. What can you say?
The Browns played their divisional rivals, the Pittsburgh Steelers last night.
Beat the shit out of them.
Yeah. Thoughts?
Well,
and not only, and before you start, thoughts on the game and the Browns season as a whole and looking forward.
Okay, well, obviously, it's been a pretty disappointing year so far. All the off-season hype, adding Odell Beckham, adding Kareem Hunt. Like this offense was primed to be one of the more electric offenses that the league has seen in the last several years, really. Right. And it's not coming together, if you could put it lightly. They have been sloppy, all the turnovers, all the penalties. It has been really, really, really frustrating to be a fan of this team. But with the early season schedule, it was stacked. Like we were playing the Rams, Ravens, Niners, Seahawks, Patriots, all right in a row. So obviously, that was a gauntlet. Like we were gonna lose some games in there, but the second half of the schedule is open up pretty nicely. You're playing the Bengals twice.
Yeah, you guys still got the Bengals twice.
Twice. We got the Dolphins. We got the Cardinals.
Yeah, definitely some winnable games.
But
is it too little too soon? Like
maybe. I mean, I would say that our margin for error is pretty much 0 at this point. Like with the loss week 1 to Tennessee, that right there was like, oh shit, like we might have a big problem on our hands because we got stomped by them. And like they're not a good team, really. Tennessee. like they're not, like they're just simply not good.
Yeah.
Yeah, but there's been a lot of calling for Freddie Kitchens' job in the last couple weeks.
Yeah, what do you think about Freddie Kitchens?
Dude. Well, I'm not gonna come up here and say that like he should be fired. He's the worst coach in NFL history. He is in over his head, is what I'm gonna say. Like before this season, he was never calling plays in any capacity. Like in his whole career, he was like a coach at Alabama back in the day. He was the running backs coach last year. Or no, actually I'm wrong. He was the interim offensive coordinator last year after Todd Haley got fired. So then but still like that's like less than a calendar year. Mm-hmm. After that, he's the head coach of the Cleveland Browns. But, at the time I wasn't thrilled about the hire, but I wasn't really like upset about it.
Right.
So
like I was let's see what the guy can do.
I'm like, okay, you know what? Like he's a guy who was in our front office last year, and like I guess we'll see what he can do this year. And like he's definitely had his first year head coaching woes. His
I'd say so.
You could definitely say that, but at the same time, I'm still gonna give him some time. Like I'm not I'm not gonna sit up here and say he should be fired.
Nah.
Because that's been like one of the huge problems with the Browns lately, like the last like 15 years. Firing coaches like before they can get a chance for some continuity, like some consistency.
Because they got to build a roster
with installing their system.
Yeah. And I think, but at the same time, you guys were patient with Hugh Jackson. You had him for 2 horrendous seasons.
2 horrible. Yeah.
I mean, you honestly, I don't think could have been worse.
No, yeah, but like, that's why it was time to move on then.
Right.
Because his career, I just saw it yesterday. He was 3 wins, 35 losses, and 1 tie. 3, 35, and 1. Like, come on, dude. Like, that is
rough.
Yeah. If that's not the worst record for any head coach in history, I don't know what is.
So let's talk about last night. So
last night.
The Browns won 21-7, right? That was the final?
21-7, yeah.
And
there's a lot to talk about with this game.
Yeah. So the big headline in sports news right now surrounds the incident that happened with what? It was 30
8 seconds.
Or,
8 seconds.
I only saw the clip. I didn't really see the context.
It was 8 seconds. 3rd and 29 for Pittsburgh. 8 seconds left.
And can you break down what happened?
Yeah, I sure can. So Myles Garrett comes in late on the play. I mean, like, it wasn't like an egregious foul, but it was probably a late hit. It was probably a late hit.
It was a
on
sack,
Mason.
wasn't it? He had it wrapped up.
It was incomplete. Like, after the ball was thrown away, it was, it was one of those plays.
Okay.
So then Myles Garrett, he takes Mason Rudolph down to the ground. And then Mason Rudolph, for whatever reason, is like pulling at Myles' helmet, like trying to rip it off. He's like shoving his head like down into the turf. If I'm Myles Garrett, that's gonna piss me off. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And it certainly did, because then Myles stands up, rips off the helmet of Mason Rudolph, swings it at his exposed head like a fucking club, and whacks him over the head with it. And then after that, it was just all hell broke loose after that.
Yeah, then the Steelers players started throwing punches at him.
Kicks, and
it was a really bad look.
Benches clearing, brawl.
It was a really bad look for the league, but
dude, the league
is
probably
very entertaining.
It was the craziest shit I've ever seen on an NFL field. It was incredible to look at, honestly.
I mean, and the thing was, it was the quarterback.
It was the quarterback
getting his helmet ripped off, and
he started
swung at him.
Mason Rudolph started the fight, and honestly, like, he kind of deserved it. He kind of deserved to get whacked over the head, because, like, what are you doing, dude? Like, you're a backup quarterback. Like, I'm not trying to justify Myles Garrett active aggression, but, like, at the same time, like, what Mason Rudolph, man, like, why are you coming at like one of the most ferocious linemen in the NFL? Like, you could not have picked a worse guy to try and fight. Yeah,
it was really crazy, especially because it was in garbage time and there was literally, like you said, less than 10 seconds on the clock. Like, come on, man. Like, I get
unbelievable.
I get like the
lack of discipline.
Yeah. I think
that control.
Yeah, I think that just showed how much control Freddie Kitchens has for this team.
Honestly, yeah. But it was so out of character for Myles, though. Like, he's known as a guy who is like super chill. Like, he watches anime. Like that's like his thing. It's like his hobby.
Yeah.
And like I would never have expected anything like that out of Myles. It was absolutely crazy.
Yeah, and he's got.
I wonder.
He's suspended indefinitely. The NFL announced.
So he's done for the year.
So yeah, he's probably done for the season.
He is,
rightfully so.
At minimum, he's done for the year. He has to meet with the commissioner to get like reinstated for next year. It said.
I would love to be in that. I would love to be in on that meeting with Roger Goodell and Myles Garrett.
That would be something. That'd be something else.
So. Looking forward to the rest of the Browns season. Obviously, we said that they have an easy schedule, but what do you think looking playoffs is? Do you actually think this team can make the playoffs?
That's a difficult question. After losing Myles, probably the best player on the team, I'm gonna say no, because like realistically, we're 4-6 right now, and then like if you're 9-7, like most years that'll be good enough to sneak into a wild card spot. like especially in the AFC.
Yeah.
But then that leaves like zero margin for error, like I said earlier. And then we have a game against Baltimore, Week 16. That's going to decide if this team could do anything or not. But, you know, I mean, I'll say Baker has looked much better as of late, much better. Hasn't had a turnover in, I think, the last 4 games or 3, I don't know.
He looked good last night. He looked really good.
He was, yeah, dude, he was putting the ball where it needed to be last night. But really, it was the defense that won us that game last night.
Yeah,
4 interceptions on
4
Mason
picks.
Rudolph. Yeah.
That's
big. Probably why he was so pissed at the end of the game. He sucked.
Yeah,
he was trying to take out his anger.
It was a bad look for the Steelers as well.
He was taking out his anger on the wrong guy. He got whacked for it. Popped over the head with his own helmet. Yeah. I was seeing some speculation where legal action is not ruled out against Myles Garrett. What do you think of that?
Legal action?
Like, you think that's a step too far?
I was seeing that. They were talking about this on ESPN last night at like 3 a.m.
They were going crazy with it. Yeah,
I know. They were talking about.
They were running with it.
Yeah, they were like, there should be criminal
charges
for assault. And I'm
come on.
I mean,
come on.
I think the full season suspension is enough of a punishment. Like, come on, the guy doesn't need to be arrested. Like, yeah, it was a fight. People fight. They've been fighting since the beginning of mankind. Like,
so like, if you say it's assault, you could really, like, if you take a step back and look at the game of football, you could call any given tackle an assault if you like really like, are getting really technical about it.
Yeah. But at the same time,
it's a violent game and violence happens.
Right, and like, look, like, that was out of line.
It was crazy.
He'll take the punishment, suspend him a season, cut his pay, whatever you got to do, and then move on. Like, it's whatever. Not. We don't need to get the freaking cops.
He's not going to get banned from the league. He didn't. It's not a Ray Rice incident or anything like that.
2 guys fought. That happens all the time, unfortunately.
You know what? Yeah, dude. Like, if I were Myles Garrett, I would have reacted too. I probably wouldn't have bashed him over the head with his fucking helmet, but
exactly.
But still, dude, like,
yeah, it was a really interesting situation.
It was a spectacle. It was a sight to behold.
Now let's talk about the entire NFL as a whole. This has been a really interesting season.
Yeah, very interesting.
Let's talk about some teams that are surprising us or impressing us. One of them for me is the San Francisco 49ers.
Absolutely.
This team kind of came out of nowhere. No one was really talking about the Niners being a competitor this year. But I really like this team a lot. They're very interesting. They're young. They got a lot of big athletes. Mm-hmm. Their defense has been fantastic this year.
Incredible.
I love Kyle Shanahan's offense that he runs. I love the fullback and all of the motion that he does.
Use check.
Yeah, I am a big Kyle Juszczyk fan. I think he is so
We need
good.
more Kyle Juszczyks in the NFL.
We do, because he's big, he's tough, he can catch, and he's quick, he's a good route runner. Like, the dude's just reliable. He's a great run blocker.
Like, he's not going to be making those flashy plays, but he'll help the team out in so many ways. Right,
and they use him in a lot of different facets. So
very well, too.
Yeah, I love Shanahan's offense. I like this team. I think Jimmy G is good.
He does enough.
He does enough, exactly.
He does what they need him to do.
Yeah.
Like, he's not going to be Patrick Mahomes out there.
No.
But they don't need him to be.
No.
All they need him to do is, like, take care of the football, make short little throws to, I don't know, like George Kittle, for example.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's all you need to do.
They're 8-1, sitting at the top of the NFC West. I really like this team, man. I think they're very good, and
yeah, that's one of those teams that, like, you're not going to want to play them in January.
No, they're tough. Another team that has really impressed me this year is the Buffalo Bills, sitting in the wild card spot.
Lost to the Browns last week.
Yeah, this team has had some ups and downs, especially towards the middle half of the year. They lost to my Birds, the Eagles, and they lost to the Browns, as you said, and then obviously that New England game, which was
that was a close
grinder,
game. Yeah,
where their defense looked fantastic. This team's look really good defensively, and they've actually been able to score here and there, but it's the offense.
Sucks.
Yeah, the offense has kind of slowed down here in these past couple of weeks.
It's sputtering.
But I like Josh Allen, man. He's a big quarterback. They run him a lot, which I like.
Sneaky athletic too. Like
yeah,
he's deceptively fast.
Yeah, he's big. He's athletic. I like him a lot.
I'm not so big on Buffalo anymore.
Really?
I think they're gonna sputter out here, lose a couple games, and end up falling out of that playoff picture.
Maybe
they still have to play New England. I think they play Baltimore. I know they play the Steelers. And then there's a tough NFC game for them too. I think the Cowboys on Thanksgiving, actually. Yeah.
Yeah. They do play the Cowboys on Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
Yeah, that should be interesting then.
Yeah, we'll see what they can do though.
Then we move on to teams. Here's a team that's like surprised me, but in a negative way. The Chicago Bears.
Chicago.
What happened to this team? Last year.
We know what happened to this team.
Last year they were really great. I mean, they granted got very unlucky in that playoff game against the Eagles. I was literally on the edge of my seat
with the double doink.
I knew he was gonna miss that kick. I was like, "This guy's not making this."
I thought so too.
I was like, "This guy's not making this kick." I'm like, "There's no way."
There's no shot.
But the way that it happened with it bouncing off the double doink, I was like,
doink,
and then
it was like a running theme like throughout the season too, where that kicker hit the uprights like 3 times in one game.
Mm-hmm. It was such a like poetic justice.
It was so ironic.
And it was so funny because when that happened, I was like so excited, and then obviously you live by the double doink and you die by the double doink. Because the Kawhi Leonard buzzer beater.
Oh, that's right.
Against the Sixers happened later that year or this year.
That was like 4 doinks, dude.
Yeah, that was like a quadruple.
That was a quad doink.
That shot just still I don't like thinking about it. That one stung so bad. But anyway, back to football.
But with the Bears last year with that defense, obviously they were a turnover factory, dude.
Yeah,
like they were making huge plays left and right. I don't know how sustainable that is. Like if you're relying on turnovers like to win the game, I mean, like that's kind of a lucky play, I feel like. And so this year they haven't really been able to do that as much. And Mitch Trubisky, dude, he is just so bad.
Yeah, he has not looked great this year at all.
He is atrocious.
He's been pretty disappointing.
Shout out Menor High School, Mitch Trubisky.
Yeah, especially since this team was like, a lot of people were thinking we're going to make a Super Bowl run this year. It's not looking likely.
Yeah, that was like a sexy pick for most people.
They're still in the hunt.
4-5.
They're still in the hunt, but it's not looking very convincing.
Yeah, dude, they're not going anywhere.
No, I don't think so either. But
like especially in the NFC, like look at the playoff picture right now. We got Minnesota and the Seahawks in the wild card spots.
Mm-hmm.
Like they're not getting up there. Like over those teams.
No.
Yeah, there's no shot.
But another team that is a lot of like a trend that we've seen kind of in the NFL is a lot of teams are turning over their quarterbacks this season, like the Cam Newton situation in Carolina. Now they have Kyle Allen, the Jags with Minshew, but I think he's
Nick
Foles is coming back. My boy, Nick. I want nothing but the best for Nick Foles. I love Nick Foles. Shout out to you, Nick Foles. You're the man.
I'm glad he's playing. I'm so sick of Gardner Minshew, dude. He's
so
like how the media like runs with him.
Yeah.
Oh wow, he has a cool mustache and he wears aviator sunglasses. Wow.
Yeah,
he's so annoying.
Kind of fizzled out.
Yeah. It's so lame.
As his play kind of went down. And then obviously the Titans moving on from Mariota. Well, I think Mariota got hurt, didn't he?
I don't know what the hell happened.
Or they benched him. I don't know. They got Tannehill in there. He actually won
least
them the game
relevant
last
franchise
week,
in the NFL.
He actually won them the game though. They actually
really who'd they beat? Oh, the Chiefs, wasn't it?
Yeah, they beat Kansas City, which was a big win.
Huge win for them.
Another team that has been surprising though is the Indianapolis Colts.
Yeah. What do you think about the Colts? Goddamn Colts.
They choked it away last weekend.
That's for sure.
And
we'll talk about that later.
Yeah, we'll talk about the Colts.
We'll get into that.
Yeah, in a little bit.
Why I'm upset with the Colts. But yeah, dude, what do you think about this team?
Oh wow, I just got an alert. Eagles are gonna sign Jay Ajayi back.
No way.
I think so. I think that's what that just said.
Good timing.
Let's see what this is. Yeah, they intend to sign Jay Ajayi. Breaking news. So,
wow.
Hey, he was on that Super Bowl team. He's a brick. Another brick to run the ball. I love
Another
it.
brick.
But let's see. What's another team that's disappointed you this year that you thought maybe? Because I have one that I want to talk about.
Yeah. I'll go with the Falcons on this one.
Yeah, that was what I was thinking.
The Atlanta
too.
Falcons, man. Dude, they are awful.
Yeah, they're bad.
Dude.
I can't believe the Eagles lost to these guys.
I know. That's
I can't
bad.
believe it.
That's terrible.
I was watching that
they,
game and I was
like 2
irate.
and 7?
I was irate watching that game. I was so mad.
Yeah, that was the game Nelson Aguilar dropped the touchdown.
We had that game won.
Yeah, sorry to open up that wound.
Oh yeah, we'll talk about. I'm gonna talk about the Eagles at the end.
Yeah.
And go on a little rant before.
Yeah, but Atlanta, man, Matt Ryan, they have Julio Jones and Calvin Ridley on the outside. Like, their offense is stacked with firepower. Austin Hooper has emerged as one of the top tight ends in the league.
Yeah.
But that defense, dude, it's
a dumpster fire.
It's miserable.
it's
we could go out there and score 3 touchdowns on them.
Yeah. And I think, like, that's the thing, man. If you don't have a good defense, it puts so much
pressure on the offense.
Yeah. But, like, if your offense sucks, that puts so much pressure on the defense. So it's like you got to have a balance, and this team has no balance. Mm-hmm. And
they were a sexy pick to make some noise in the playoffs this year. Even like a Super Bowl run at the beginning of the year.
Yeah, a lot of people were high on them, and that's probably why they beat
them.
Like, they kind of got lucky in timing against the Eagles because the Eagles always take a while to figure it out, and Atlanta was still like a really beloved team. But let's talk about that team that has just destroyed me. My Cincinnati Bengals sitting at 0-9.
The Bengals.
This team is a disgrace. They are a disgrace to the sport of football.
Horrendous, dude. If we lose a game to the Bengals, I might, dude. Like,
you guys are gonna lose a game. You guys are losing.
Absolutely.
You guys are losing when Baker's not gonna be able to handle the jungle. There's gonna be so much noise at the jungle.
Yeah, all 25,000 people at the game.
This team has been an absolute dumpster fire.
A nightmare.
They have been terrible this year. I literally I don't even want to watch them play because like they just. None of them give a shit. They spend so much money on these players that have not done anything. Like Drake Kirkpatrick, the guy just is not worth the money that we've been paying him. He had like one season where he had promise, but he's been bad. Denard is bad. The defensive backs can't tackle a soul. They couldn't tackle me if I was running down the field. The offensive line may be the worst in NFL history. You could make an argument that this is the worst offensive line the NFL has ever seen. The Bengals have like 700 rushing yards on the year, which is absurd.
Lamar Jackson has more than them.
Yeah, last in the NFL. None of the players want to play for them. AJ Green has been out for pretty much most of the season with an injury, and he doesn't look like he's in any rush to return, and I don't blame him.
Yeah, dude, if I were him...
like, everybody's like, AJ's milking his injury. I'm like, I would be too. I wouldn't want to play on this garbage-ass team if I were him either.
Honestly.
Like, so, you know what, AJ, get back, get healthy soon, I guess. But this team plays at Oakland against the Raiders.
Loss.
Yeah, they're getting beat. I mean, I honestly want the Bengals to lose every game this year. I want them to lose
What's their schedule looking like?
Okay,
like, are there any gimmies on there, like the Dolphins?
Let's pull up their schedule here. Yeah. Hang on.
Yeah, check it out.
But yeah, Andy Dalton has been sat for Ryan Finley. I mean,
Ryan
Finley era has begun in Cincinnati. The Bengals
for 1 year
turning a new leaf. I just think this team, man, they lost Jonah Williams, their first round pick, literally right out the gate. So
the offensive tackle.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah,
he got injured literally right before the season even started. He was labeled out for the year, and this offensive line has struggled. The pass protection has been terrible. I mean, that one game against Pittsburgh where we gave up 9 sacks. 9 sacks. Terrible. But their schedule, though, looking forward. They play at Oakland this Sunday, my mom's birthday. Happy birthday, Mom.
Happy birthday.
Which actually is tonight. Then they play at home against Pittsburgh, another loss. Then they play at home against the Jets.
Oh,
this is a game.
That's a big game right there.
I want them to lose this game.
That's going to be a barn burner.
Yeah, that's going to be the battle of the dumpsters.
Dude.
The toilet bowl. Then
that should be a primetime game right there.
Then They're
I'm
playing
watching that one.
in First Energy Stadium against
L.
the Cleveland Browns
L.
on December 8th.
Dude, Odell's gonna have like 300 yards against your shitty corners. Honestly, dude,
If he
Odell's
doesn't,
gonna go
if he
off.
doesn't, then that's a disappointment. Then at home against Tom Brady and the New England Patriots are coming into town. Paul Brown Stadium.
We'll see what happens in that one. That could be pretty interesting.
Yeah, gonna be rough. And then they play in Miami against the Fins. Another game they could possibly win, but probably won't. And then on December 29th, at home against the Cleveland Browns in Paul Brown Stadium in the jungle.
That right there is
gonna
gonna be
happen.
a game.
The Browns,
yeah,
they're gonna be 9-6, and they're gonna be playing in Cincinnati.
If we win, we're in the playoffs.
Yeah, you win, you're in. You lose, you're out. And Ryan Finley and the boys were gonna lead a big W in the jungle against the Browns.
Ryan Finley's gonna walk him down the field with a minute left and score a touchdown. His time expires and beat the Browns.
Yeah, but it's an absolute just it's terrible.
A disgrace.
I mean, I'm happy to see a new face in there. Zach Taylor coaching this team instead of Marvin. I'm glad Marvin's out. We needed him gone 10 years ago.
After 25 years of him coaching.
So I'm just happy to see somebody else coaching this team, but at the same time, they're awful. So
yeah,
there's just so much room for improvement with this team, and I don't think they'll be good for another 10 years. But anyway, last team I want to talk about, my Philadelphia Eagles.
I have one too, actually.
Oh. You go first.
What do you think of the Ravens? What do you think about Baltimore?
I think
and Lamar Jackson, really in general.
They're legit, but I think I want to see them perform in a playoff game and see if they can actually move the ball, because that game against the Chargers last year exposed Lamar. And I think Lamar's gotten a lot better than he was last year as a passer. And I think in the next couple of years he could be really good, but I don't know. The jury's out on him. I think
I agree.
All
the hype he's getting.
The defense looks great.
Crazy.
Their defense looks great.
It does. That's always how they play, though.
Yeah, but
they run the ball and they play good defense.
Yeah,
that's Baltimore Ravens football right there.
Yeah, and if they can just play good defense, then hopefully Lamar can just keep things going. I like Hollywood Brown, the receiver.
Yeah,
he's had some good chemistry with Lamar this year.
Mm-hmm.
And they got Mark Ingram, who runs hard, and I like a lot of the design runs they do with Lamar as well, but his passing could be better. So
yeah,
I think Baltimore's going to win this division,
an
but I think they're going to win the AFC North.
Yeah, for sure. They're 7-2 right now.
Right. So I think they'll be fine.
They're going to run away with it, I think.
But looking forward now, my Eagles. As you guys know, I'm a devout Eagles fan, also a Bengals fan. My Eagles have had an incredibly underwhelming season after a lot of Super Bowl aspirations. But the thing is, they're not even out of it. They're still tied for first in the division somehow, some way, after losses to Detroit and Atlanta. And this team at times just looks like they had no idea what the hell is going on. And the Minnesota blowout was a disaster.
And the Cowboys blowout.
Yeah, and the Cowboys game was just
brutal.
So disappointing. But this team has found a way to kind of turn it around here. They had 2 wins in a row, one against Buffalo, at Buffalo, which was impressive, and then the home win against the Bears. But now we play New England at home.
Oh, shit, that's on Sunday?
Yep.
That's going to be really interesting, actually.
I am terrified of this team.
You should be.
Especially since I don't trust our defense at all. Our DBs have been bad. But I don't know. We'll see what happens. We play Seattle at home, and then we play at Miami, then at home against the Giants, then in Washington, Dallas.
Damn, there's a lot of
So we actually have a pretty easy...
There's a lot of W's on that schedule.
We actually have a pretty easy,
L's,
way easier rest of the season than the Cowboys have.
Really?
Which is very
When's the next time they play? Is it
week
17?
No, week 16.
That'd be sweet. Oh.
At home.
All right, well, that's going to decide the division then.
Yeah, probably.
That game right there.
Probably. But, this team has been super underwhelming this year. The offense has struggled at times, but we're starting to run the ball better. We're giving it to Jordan Howard. He's been making great plays. He's had a really good year this year, Jordan Howard. He's looked great. Myles Sanders has stepped it up. He's been catching balls out of the backfield. He's catching balls out of the backfield.
He's not as good as Kareem Hunt.
Yeah, probably. How did Kareem play last night, by the way?
He was good, dude.
He looked good?
He's been looking really good.
Because I didn't get to really watch.
They've been doing a really good job of getting him like incorporated within the offense.
Yeah,
he's been more of a pass catching.
They just need
sort
to
of running back.
They just need to give it to their stars. Honestly, give it to Odell and all them. But anyway,
that's what I've been saying all year.
But yeah, back to the Eagles. Just
Wentz is not as good as Baker.
Yeah, that's blasphemy. No, but the Wentz has looked great this year, but
at times,
the receivers have been terrible this year, man.
Yeah, they suck.
There's so many missed opportunities in these games. We could have won Atlanta if Nelson Aguilar would have caught that ball. We could have won Detroit if the guy we drafted, I don't even remember his name, the rookie, he went right through his hands. The ball was right there. Could have put us on the 5-yard line with like 10 seconds left, enough time to punch it in. So just so many missed opportunities by this team. But there's still a lot of season left and some easy games. So if we can just win at New England, and if we could win either one of these next two games between Seattle and New England,
tough games. Dude.
Yeah, if we
Where's
can win
that
one
Seattle
of them,
game at?
Home.
Ooh,
they're both at home, which is why I think
that's important.
If we could just win one of these two going into the rest of the season, I think we'll be in good shape because we're gonna beat New York, we're gonna beat Miami, we're gonna beat Washington. So it's just a matter of being able to get past these next two teams.
That could be 5-6 though, after these next two games coming up.
Possibly.
That's what the Browns are going to be after they beat the Dolphins on.
Well, we're
next
5
Sunday.
Yeah, because we're 5-4
right now, right? Yeah.
So
that could be 5-6. That could be trouble. But
if the defense can make some more plays, because they've looked great this year, but not all the time. They've been very inconsistent. And if guys actually decide to catch the football, we'll see what happens. So
we will see.
Let's talk about your newest introduction into your newest hobby, sports gambling.
Gambling. I don't know if I'd call it a hobby.
So, what got you into gambling, and what keeps you coming back?
What got me into gambling was the Rams -3 versus the Falcons a couple weeks ago. I was like, what? Like, are you kidding me? Only 3-point favorites? Yeah, so then I just threw money on the Rams and I won, obviously. And that was a pretty good feeling. So then, I was looking for games I like, and you just throw money on it.
Yeah, so it's like
makes it more interesting to watch, like you're rooting for your team, makes it a lot more stressful.
So with a lot of the picks, do you do a lot of like underdog picks, or is it like do you usually like to go with like the favorites? Like what do you find yourself siding with more? I mean, obviously it depends on the game, but
yeah.
Like, what do you think is the most?
If there's a gun to my head, I would probably have to bet on the favorite. I would say, like if it's like one or the other, probably more so on the favorites.
What is one bet that you won this year that you're very proud of?
Oh, the Browns, dude. Versus Buffalo. But that was different because that was the Browns. But yeah, I mean I took them. All the money was on them, but
Yeah.
I mean, I really haven't won that many picks. Like, there's not that many to really pick from, to be honest with you.
And we have all what was I gonna say? Oh yeah, we have also kind of joked about starting a sports book. Based on injuries and fights. This is really bad, but it's kind of like a running joke.
It's obviously a joke.
Yeah, and basically it's like we would open up lines for
like odds for players to get injured.
Yeah, odds for players to stay. Yeah, and we obviously as the sports book would be wanting players to stay healthy.
Yeah,
it would be the gamblers
because we'd be the
gambling on injuries.
Yeah,
the house would want health. So
yes,
in that
we
case,
are rooting
you
for
could
health.
say, yeah,
so
we
that
may
makes
be
us look
profiting
good.
off of
Makes us
people's
look good.
injuries. But yeah, that was kind of it. I came up with a name called Downfall Sports. Downfall Sports Book. So subscribe to Downfall Sports Book, coming out soon. Yeah.
Preying on the downfall of your favorite athletes.
Yes, preying on the downfall of your favorite athletes. It's a new
That's
thing coming out because sports gambling is legal now, which
yes, sir.
is really interesting. Like to think about it. We live in a world where you can gamble on sports, but it's very regulated.
Like why the hell not?
Why the hell not? But yeah,
dude,
so are you going to keep gambling or?
Well,
because you've had some highs and lows. Obviously, last week was a big low for you.
So bad. So bad. So then, okay, here's the story. I was down $70 on Sunday at like 4 o'clock, which like, you know, like $70. Like that's not really
Right
that
before
bad.
the 4:25.
Right before the 4 o'clock games. So then I'm looking at the lines, and I see what I thought was a gimme. I saw the Colts playing Miami. That ended up being a very poor decision on my part, throwing $200 on the Colts money line, and they end up laying a fucking egg against the Dolphins. It was like, I'm so glad I wasn't watching the game. It was our party on Sunday. So then
you were at the party just checking the score.
Yeah, but then, dude, that honestly like ruined my whole day. Fuck the Indianapolis Colts. Fuck the Miami Dolphins. Fuck Brian Hoyer, first and foremost.
Hoyer.
He had 3 picks in that game. I thought if he just took care of the football, then they would have won. But he, in fact, did not do that. And he fucked me.
So, moving forward, are you going to continue, or do you think I mean, like, after a loss like that, it's like, I feel like it's hard to want to, like,
make some of it back.
But yeah, also that urge to want to make it back. Yeah. That's the kind of crossroads I feel like you get at.
That's the fork in the road for any gambler.
Personally, I've never gambled on sports in my life, and I don't really want to. It's just not something I want to get into.
Don't do it, seriously.
Just because I don't like losing money, and I know I would get super frustrated, and it would just cause a lot of stress for me. So like, I've done a good job of avoiding it.
As good as your picks are, the house will win every time. Like, that's just a fact of life.
It's like this wouldn't exist if they weren't making money.
Like why would they do it?
Exactly. Like, so it's like I just kind of try to avoid it because like I just like to watch sports for the entertainment of it more than anything. But for people that do it, I totally understand it. It's incredibly popular, and a lot of people do it, and you know, good for you guys if you got. I guess my advice from a non-gambler's perspective would be just don't gamble money you don't have. Mm-hmm. But other than that, just keep making your right picks, keep looking at your analysis,
all your research. There's one thing I've been doing actually though, where like on Twitter there are some accounts that like will tweet out their picks, like, oh yeah, like we're 9 for our last 13 picks or whatever. So then realistically, if you just follow these accounts that are like winning lately and you throw the same amount of money on all your picks, you'll end up probably doing pretty well. Like unless something catastrophic happens. Like their algorithm just like fails. I don't know.
Yeah, but the thing is it's hard to like.
But like where you get in trouble is if you get like really cocky on like one of the picks and you throw way more money and they lose and you go down a lot and then you have to work your way back to where you were.
Yeah, it's a slippery slope because like you're basically investing in something that you have no control in.
Yeah,
and it's something as trivial as a sports game. Like,
but then but then at the same time, like you can look at it where, say you throw like a $15 bet and you lose. That would mean, really in my eyes, you were paying like $15 to have more entertainment, more excitement out of the game. If it's a game you don't give a shit about, like whatever. But then like you throw some money and all of a sudden it's a huge game for you, and then it's really exciting and
it ups the stakes for
sure. And that's kind of like the adrenaline rush that I feel like most people want. Like when they're gambling, like that's why a lot of people gamble. I feel like not for me. I want to make the fucking money, but
yeah, but yeah, that's because. What is one sport that you will not you will not bet on?
Horse racing. I will never, ever bet on a horse race. Like, unless I'm at the Kentucky Derby or something. But, like...
Which I want to go to the Derby this year.
Like, on my book that I use, it has, like, horse racing you can bet on. And it's, like, the most, like, random tracks from random cities across the United States. And, what kind of degenerate will sit there and be like, oh, I think the Red Rocket is gonna win this race today. Like what kind of sicko? What are you doing over there?
I'm taking a Snapchat. Continue. I'm listening.
I forget what I was saying. Oh, horse racing.
Yeah, you're talking about horse racing.
Yeah, like that is one thing that I will never touch. Like if I'm up $1 million on my gambling, I will not bet on horse racing.
Yeah, I have a lot of friends whose parents are big into that, and Yeah, it's definitely something you
it's
have
like-
to be really knowledgeable
You
about
have to
in
know
order
what
to
the
be
hell, like what you're
successful.
talking
Yeah,
about. Like, oh, this horse has this ratio of muscle mass density in his legs. He's gonna win. Like, how do you know? How do you know that shit?
Yeah, exactly. This horse was fed this
Yeah.
many carrots a day or whatever.
He was smacking his carrots.
No, yeah.
Yeah, that's something
American Pharaoh
that
out
I'm
here.
not. Yeah, right.
Yeah, that's a tough one. Basketball, I've also heard is
Basketball
very
is
hard.
incredibly stressful to.
But I feel like you just gotta go
Like to
money
bet on.
line with with basketball because like
Because
the
it's
games
so,
are so like
it's so back and forth.
yeah, you know you'll either
You're like,
get a
oh
game.
yeah, nice block. Oh shit. Oh no.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah,
I try to stick to football.
I wish you nothing but the best of luck for your gambling ventures if you continue to go down that avenue.
That's a big if. After last week.
Yeah.
Well,
So you
I mean, who
have
am I
not you have
kidding?
not gambled since?
I have
or-
not placed a bet since. No, I was actually gonna take the Browns last night, but I ended up not doing it. And then like my accounts that I follow are on fire this week.
Oh really?
Yeah, like it just so figures that I'd be up huge this week when I'm not doing it. Licking my wounds over here,
Yeah.
missing out on all the cash from my.
But
you know.
one last little segment I think we're gonna get into here is a segment that I've never done before, and I'm bringing it out. The title of this segment could very well change in the future, but I kind of like last minute added this.
That's a little change of pace.
Yeah, this is nothing to do with sports. This is called Current Botherings. This will be changed probably. But
Current botherings.
my current botherings.
That's a
I didn't
great
know what
name.
else to call it, but it might stay that way, might not. But these are just things that like I want to get off my chest, things that have just been pissing me off in the world. And usually like when these things happen to me, I think, man, I would love to rant about that on a podcast. So that's what I'm going to do. The first, and if you have some, obviously I didn't ask you to prepare any, but if something comes to your head or if you have something to say, I'm definitely going to ask you about each of these and see
Yeah,
how
I'll
much
try and
they
think
actually
about
bother you. First one, sweaty and clammy hands.
Oh
I
man,
hate sweaty hands.
this has been a big problem for me lately.
I'll go to a lot of parties and I'll out, I'll be out somewhere or walking around to class and I'll see somebody I know and I'll be like, hey, and give them a dap.
Hey, dab him up.
The worst thing is dapping somebody and feeling sweaty hands
I
and
thought
having
you were
their
talking about-
sweat, having their sweat like rub off on your hands.
I thought you were talking about your hands being sweaty and clammy.
I hate that too.
Yeah.
But I mean, yeah, my hands don't really get that sweaty, but
Yeah.
they kind of are right now. 'Cause it's hot,
Mine
but,
kind of do too sometimes. Like if you're like sitting in a classroom in a sweatshirt or something. And,
yeah.
like, I hate that.
But there's kids out there that
It's
I
sweaty
know.
hand season out here.
I'm not gonna share any names, but there are kids that I know that have these sweatiest hands, or they're really clammy. And like, have you ever felt someone's hands where they feel like super like
Cold.
yeah, cold and
like a cold sweat.
cold
kinda
and like
feeling.
rusty. They feel almost like
Rusty.
Like,
I don't know if I could say rusty.
I guess rusty is not a good word, but like cold and like
Yeah.
dry.
Yeah, I'm not.
You
a
know,
fan
like
of that.
I don't.
I'm
like
off that.
like clammy hands.
I'm off clammy
I am
hands.
not clammy. I do not like clammy hands. If you got clammy hands, get some moisturizer. If you got sweaty hands, wipe them off. Like I hate having to feel your sweat on my hands.
Yeah, dude. Like the other day, I was at like a networking event. Like meeting people, trying to find a job, and my hands for some reason were like so sweaty, and like I was like meeting people left and right, like shaking hands with everybody. I was like having to like wipe my hand off, and it was just a big bother. It was a current bother of mine.
Number 2, cords. I
Cords.
despise cords.
I've been playing with this cord all day.
Cords suck. I have tried. I purchased a wireless charger for my phone and my Apple Watch, solely for the reason of not wanting to use cords. I hate cords. They always get tangled, and like even if you like wrap them up, they'll find a way to get tangled.
Yeah.
Like, and the worst thing is if you try and put several cords in one bag, they'll find a way to just magically all be intertwined and tangled together, and then I'm sitting there like trying to pull it all apart, and I'm like,
you have to like find one of them, and like lead it through, and then find the next one.
You're like threading the needle and like pulling it. That stuff bothers the hell out of me.
It's almost
hate
like you're
cords.
knitting.
Like, we're in 2019. We should not have cords anymore, people.
I don't know, man. I don't know if I'm with you on this one. I don't really have much of a problem with cords. It is annoying when they get like mixed up, though.
Yeah, it's like they just magically mix together. Like you'll try your best to separate them, but they'll just come together so often.
Yeah, but what would we do without cords?
Yeah,
we'd be screwed.
We would be screwed without cords.
Yeah, think about that.
But we're already moving into a cordless age.
We are
slowly
moving
but surely.
Direction. Yeah,
cords are becoming
like you get
less
like your like wireless Beats, like headphones and
right,
stuff.
your
like
headphones,
all that kind
AirPods.
of stuff. AirPods, yeah.
And not only that, like, think about cords. Phones used to have cords.
Yeah.
You used to, like,
true.
Remember the old movies
where
you
your
had
kitchen.
Like you'd have to like bring the cord, like drag the phone cord. Like,
yeah.
I remember
like
those
if you're
days.
walking through your house.
The home phone. Like, who even owns a home phone anymore?
We do.
You have a home phone?
Yeah, we still have it.
Really?
I mean, like nobody ever uses it. Like, it never rings, but like if you wanted to pick it up and call somebody, you could do that.
Yeah. Interesting.
But yeah.
Number 3, dropping things I'm carrying at different times. Okay, this one was kind of hard to like.
Like if you have like a bunch of stuff in your hands, you
right. This is like if I'm carrying a bunch of stuff. So for example, let's assume I'm carrying my laptop, my laptop charger, my phone, all in my hands, and then let's just say I drop my phone. So I go down and pick it up, and the charger slips out of my hand, and then I have to pick up the phone, and then I got to pick up the charger, and then the computer slips out. And like it's when you're carrying a bunch of stuff and you just instead of dropping it all at once, you're dropping different parts at different times.
Lots of hand movement right now from TJ.
Yeah, I'm getting a lot of hand movement that no one can see.
You guys can't see it.
Bad radio, but yeah, if you're carrying a bunch of stuff and you're just dropping it all like at different times, it's so frustrating because it's like I gotta pick this up, then I get up, and then I gotta pick. That slips out. Gotta pick that up.
You have to try and like hold the other stuff like as you bend down to grab your
I can't
shit,
remember the specific example of what caused me to want to write this down, but it is something that has plagued me for a long time because I'm very uncoordinated. And
dude, it's the worst when you have like notebooks and like pens and pencils in your hands. And then like you drop like all your pencils and have to like one by one pick them up like, with your shit in your hands still.
That shit is tough.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of that.
So, number 4, empty hand sanitizer in public. This, okay, I am the biggest hand sanitizer guy of all time. I love hand sanitizer. Every time I see it, I use it. Like, if it's on someone's desk, where I work, like, at I work in the office at the Shaughnessy Center, and, like, a lot of people...
Like, in a classroom, too.
Or in a classroom, people on their desks will have the hand sanitizer. Every time I get a squirt. Because I love the feeling of it. I love like feeling clean on my hands. Because I'm kind of like a germaphobe a little bit. Like not like Howie Mandel version, but like I am kind of a little bit of a germaphobe. Like I don't like germs. I don't like bugs either.
Nothing wrong with some hand.
Yeah, love hand sanitizer.
Nothing wrong with it.
So what inspired me on this is Ohio State here at school. They have a bunch of hand sanitizer like dispensers around campus.
Yeah, like everywhere.
The worst thing ever is sticking your hand under there to get the hand sanitizer. Nothing comes out. And this happens to me so much at school. And it's like, why even have these things if you don't bother refilling them?
If you're an OSU janitor, you better get your shit
It's almost
together,
like they want to make it look
TJ's
like...
coming for you.
It's almost like they want to make it look like they're sanitary when really they're not.
Because if you're listening, OSU, you have to retrain your janitors like immediately.
Not even that. Just have them come over with a thing of sanitizer and pour it into the thing. Like, that's all you have to do.
Isn't it like pods you can like switch out?
Yeah,
like
or
a
something.
big thing. It's easy.
Yeah, there's probably a little bag you put in there.
Yeah,
but it's frustrating because it's like, I love this. I always get excited. I'm like, ooh, sanitizer, especially before I eat, and then I'm like sticking my hand under there like 4 or 5 times trying to activate because it's like an automatic thing. It has like the sensor, and I'm like, come on. So, empty hand sanitizer. Public places, work on your sanitizers. Number 5. Automatic scooters. The birds, the limes.
The birds.
This
spins, is going to be
the lifts.
A very, very controversial segment
These
here.
things
this is going to be an
piss
argument.
me off.
You're crazy.
When I'm driving... I'm driving.
Okay. All right.
Because...
we're on the same page then.
When you're riding these scooters, myself included... the laws mean nothing.
The laws do not apply.
The traffic laws do not apply. You're riding on the sidewalk. You're doing jumps off the curb. You're freaking
You're doing
crossing out in
360s.
traffic.
Yeah,
you're just like, you have no regard for human life.
Dude, I have reckless abandon for my own life if I'm on one of those scooters. Like, I'll dart out in front of a fucking, like, bus or a truck coming at me. I do not care. Like you feel so quick and agile when you're on it.
Yeah, you're like swerving through.
You're swerving like in between people. If you're riding a scooter and like you're like not being aggressive, you're doing it wrong.
Right. I love riding them. I have a love-hate this is more of a love-hate relationship because I love riding them, but I hate driving with them around because like they're just people just jolt out in front of you like they don't give a shit.
I actually have a story about this.
Go ahead.
Yeah, so I was driving my girlfriend to class at the beginning of the year this year. And, yeah, so it's, like, right outside the classroom, and she's getting out. And a guy on a fucking scooter hits my car door and crashes. Like, she was, yeah. Like,
Oh, my gosh.
She was getting out of the car, like about to take a step out, and a guy on a scooter crashes into my door and just falls. But, like, it wasn't like a direct hit, but... You know, it was pretty close. Like, if she were getting out, like, she would have gotten smacked.
Wow.
It was insane.
Yeah, the people have no regard. And another thing, one quick story, I was pulling out of our parking lot in my car. And I have a backup camera, so I was, like, looking, and there was nothing there. And I just, boom, as soon as I back up, boom. And I'm like, what the fuck did I just hit? So I get out of my car.
And you hit a scooter.
There's a scooter. Like... that fell over, like, because I just love tapped it. Like, I didn't hit it very hard because I wasn't going fast. I was going, like, 1 mile per hour, so, like, love tapped it. But luckily, there was no damage done to my car, but if there was, I literally would have thrown hands. Because, like, I was so mad. I was like, this is
throwing
bullshit.
hands with
like,
the scooter?
Yeah, I literally grabbed the thing and just chucked it. I was like, fuck you, bird. So, yeah, so scooters...
That's funny.
Could take them or leave them, but...
It's a two-sided coin for sure, because
Definitely.
they're so much fun. Like, they're so convenient to ride around on.
Exactly.
But they're such a menace when you're, like, walking or, like, you're in the car.
Number 6, people that shoot on the unused basketball hoop ball game is going on. Real quick.
Annoying.
I play a lot of pickup basketball, and one thing that bothers the hell out of me is when somebody just comes on with their basketball, and while the game is going on one side of the court, they're shooting
on the other
side.
basket.
Because what happens is I'll get a turnover or a
it'll be a
rebound,
fast
and we'll be
break.
wanting to get a transition bucket. So I'm really good in transition. That's one of my best like qualities as a basketball player. So I'm always trying to push the ball down the floor. And the worst thing ever is when some idiot is shooting on the other side of the court and the ball's bouncing around and you're dribbling and it just screws up your transition. It stops the ball.
I don't play much basketball, but
and I'm just like, dude,
that's not cool.
Stop! Like, there's a game going on. Basketball is a fast-paced game, and you can't have
it's not like
idiots
he's
out there
at
just
the other
shooting.
Side either.
Yeah, it's like wait your turn to get on the floor. Like, stop interfering with our game. Like, you know, frustrating. And then last one,
he's trying to warm up, man.
Last one, I tweeted about this yesterday. People that use lockers without locks at the gym.
At the gym.
Yeah, this frustrates me because
annoying.
like I'll be looking for an open locker because lockers are few and far between at the RPAC because there's so many students and the school's overpopulated, which is a whole nother discussion. But
that could be a whole.
Yeah, that could be
like
that's going to be
episode.
a whole segment. But this frustrates the hell out of me because like
annoying.
I'll see a locker and I'll be like, oh, here we go, open it up.
Oh, here we
winter
go.
coat,
Jackpot.
backpack,
right.
boots. So I said Ohio State should make a rule where if you don't rent a lock, because you can rent a lock for free.
It's free. Like
at the
all you do is swipe your Buck ID.
Yeah,
and they give you a lock to
I do it every day.
I do it every single time.
Right.
Yeah.
So it's like, why can't you just take the time to do that? Why would you want to leave your stuff unattended anyway?
What was your rule though? You were saying
I said Ohio State should make a rule that if you use a locker without a lock, people should be allowed to steal your stuff.
I'm down, dude. I'm so down for this rule.
Yeah, so like if I see that
locker,
a
nice Canada Goose jacket.
Yeah, ooh,
open
trying
locker.
it on.
Wow, it's my size.
Yeah, it fits perfectly. Perfectly.
Oh, dude, I was hoping I'd find a new pair of Tims today at the gym.
Yeah, so those are my current botherings at the moment. Alex, thanks so much for coming on, man.
Thank you so much for having me.
Really fun.
Yeah, very good episode.
Yeah, really good stuff with NFL and
free Myles Garrett.
And
free Myles Garrett.
Free Myles Garrett.
Mason Rudolph started it.
Go Eagles this weekend. Go Bengals. Anything you want to plug?
Nah, I'm good.
All right.
I don't want you following my shit.
Okay. Fair. So yeah, but I do have some stuff I want to plug. Like I said earlier, give me that 5-star rating.
5-star.
You know,
Not
if
4.
it's a 5-star pod, if you learned something, if you enjoyed it, you know, whatever, give me that 5-star rating. Comment, subscribe, do all that stuff. You know how it is. The one friend challenge. I'm challenging you. Tell one friend, hey, what's a good podcast to listen to? The TJ Martino podcast. That's a good podcast to listen to. That's what some people ask me for recommendations. Like, what do you think I'm gonna say?
Ask you for recommendations about like
what
other
podcasts to listen to? I'm like, mine. Always mine.
What's the viewer count up to now? If you share. If you know even.
I haven't checked in a little bit, but I try not to check it.
Wasn't it like 200?
Yeah,
at some
it's
point,
like around 250.
Over 200. Okay.
It's probably around 250 still. I've plateaued a little bit, but I mean that's fine. I don't care. Yeah. I don't really care about the listeners that much. I do this more for myself than you people.
I was just curious.
But yeah, no, we're getting there steadily, slowly and steadily.
If Urban Meyer came on, it'd be a huge.
I was trying. Okay, so I went to a talk. Really, thank you for that.
Yeah.
I was going to real quick. I was talking. We went to a talk for Urban Meyer because I work for the school, and Urban Meyer had a business advancement in athletics because I work for business advancement here at Ohio State at the Schottenstein Center and Ohio Stadium, whatever. So we had to go to a talk for business advancement in athletics and student employees, and Urban Meyer was talking, and I answered a couple questions. I actually, if you go on his Twitter and check, I tweeted it also. I quote tweeted it. He posted a photo of him doing the speech, and I'm literally, you can see my knees.
Oh yeah, you showed me that picture
right there. I was front row. I sat front and center because I was gonna try and catch him after his speech to see if he could come on the podcast. I was gonna ask him, and literally as soon as I got up, he bolted.
He dipped hard, probably.
He was gonzo.
He knew people were going to be trying to swarm him.
He knew it. He knew it. So he was.
I mean, I do
gonzo.
the same thing.
He was gonzo. So I didn't have enough time to ask him, unfortunately. But next time. But shout out to Urban.
Dude, that would have been so dope.
But yeah, like I said, tell one friend. If someone ever asks you, tell them my podcast. Show me some love. Social media, follow me. Facebook, follow the Facebook page, the TJ Martino podcast. Search that on Facebook if you have one. Check it out. I'm starting to post stuff on there for all you parents and grandparents and whatever. Twitter, use the hashtag TJMP, TJ Martino podcast. Follow me on Twitter at TJ Martino no spaces. Instagram TJ.Martino. TJ Martino on YouTube. TJ Martino on Snapchat. You know the deal. Spotify. Check out the podcast and my music on Spotify. Not my music that I make, but music that I post and like. SoundCloud, you can find a lot of my house music. Apple Music, Apple Podcast. Listen to the podcast on Spotify, Apple Podcast, Stitcher, TuneIn, YouTube, all that. Yeah, thanks for listening. And yeah, that's enough. Peace.
Peace out.